the entertainment capital of the world, it's the Joe Cortez Show.
Well, welcome to the Joe Cortez Show here in Las Vegas, Nevada, the entertainment capital of the world. And this week we have a special guest, a dear friend I've known for many years, a resident of Las Vegas. And he's one of the singers from the old days, the doo-wops. And that is Stevie Dunham. He's a record label owner, singer, composer, music producer, author, and, of course, a jack of all trades.
Yeah, I'm a jack of all trades. Joe, it's a pleasure to be on your show this morning. And, wow, I mean, I brought some things to show everybody. We talk shop here. We talk about music, talk about what we like, group harmony, and, you know, it's going to be a lot of fun. So I hope that everybody enjoys themselves here today.
I just want to ask you a couple of questions,
sure.
Stevie.
Yeah.
First of all, when did you get started into the music world?
I was a record collector from the time I was 14 years old, and that led me down a road to start buying old acetates, which are demonstration records that I turned into making releases that would look something like this in the future. And then I got into the record business that way. Then I've been in it, July 21st will be my 31st year in the record business.
Well, you only look like you're 30 years old.
Yeah, I know, isn't that right? I'm going to be 51 in July, too.
You're still a baby.
I'm still a baby,
You got a long ways to catch up
but
to me.
I've been in this racket for a long time, and I enjoy every minute of it.
Yeah. Now, tell me, you're originally from New York, a New
Yes.
Yorker. Where about New York?
Brooklyn, New York. Brooklyn Heights.
New York.
Yeah.
I tell you, that's amazing. Most of the doo-wop groups come from the East Coast.
Yeah.
I would say the majority of them.
Yeah, the five boroughs of the five boroughs in New York, Northern Jersey, Philadelphia,
Right.
Connecticut. That's where doo-wop groups flourished in the 1950s and early 60s.
Right.
And it still is prevalent like that today. So it's not as strong as it once was, but it has made a slight resurgence. And there's a lot of legendary people out there that are still doing it. You had one on your show a couple of weeks ago, Terry Johnson from the Flamingos.
Exactly.
He's been at it for years, and there's a lot of guys in his caliber that are still putting on great music like that.
Well, it's good to have people like you, Stevie, that are keeping the music, the doo-wop stuff, the oldies, the golden era, alive. You're keeping it very much alive.
Yes,
and
we
you're
are.
young to keep it going. Now, I see that you have a collection of 45s here. Can you tell us a little bit about these 45s?
Well, I'd like to start with the first one here that I put out, and that was in 1988.
1988.
Yeah, this is the very first one, the very first record label I had put together on the Crescent label. I was 20 years old when I put this record out. This is an old acetate from New Haven.
I wonder why.
Yeah, it's a nice R&B record. And, you know, I've been doing 45s and CDs, you know, for over 30 years.
Yeah.
So this last year, when we decided to go into the 45 RPM business again, my partner and I, Tony Ojen, we decided to put out a plethora of 45s in a variety of different colors, as you can see in front of you here.
Yeah, beautiful. I mean,
yeah, look at that.
That's, I mean, you get these young kids that see these things, they think they're freezies, they just start throwing them around. You know?
Most kids don't even know what these are. But I'm telling you, these are, you put them on a turntable, you put a needle on there, you play them, and beautiful music comes out of them.
No, absolutely. You know, that's great to bring that old style back again, because I mean. Today, I mean, they have all these seats. First, they had the cassettes, the big ones, and then the little smaller cassettes.
Yeah.
I mean, here coming back.
Vinyl came back with a strong vengeance. This last year, over 250 pressing plants opened up in the United States to press records. So records are back. Vinyl is back, and it's for a new generation of record buyers, young kids. Yeah. In particular, hipsters.
You can even put them on as a design if you want to on your hey, that look good, like maybe it's even they look sharp.
Yeah,
I like these.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I know a lady in New Jersey.
You can use it for different purposes.
Yeah, a lady in New Jersey, she made a hat out of a record like this.
You see that?
Yeah, see you can do anything with them.
Yeah, I'm creative.
Yeah, you are. You're very creative. we hope that you all play them though. But
we got to play this. Look at this guy, Stevie the man. Look at that. You can't miss him. He walk around. People know he's a record guy.
I'm a record guy, yeah, that's for sure. I've been a record collector for years.
Oh my God! You know, it's such an honor. You know, I met you back here in Vegas in the mid '90s when I first came out here.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you were very generous to us in my vocal group, the Emerald Dreams, and I'm very grateful for them and for you, and I'll never forget that for my life.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's been a long, nice road, a long, good friendship that we've had with each other.
Exactly. Now you've been here in Vegas how many years now?
29 years I've been in Las Vegas.
So you got here about '91.
Yeah.
Okay, because I got here in '92, so I'm keeping track of the years that I've been here. But I only feel like 35. You know?
I wish I was still 35 too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd like to stay locked into one age for the rest of my life. I guess, you know, being in a business like this that we're in, it keeps us young, keeps us vibrant. So,
exactly.
You know, there's always something to do in it. There's never a boring day in the entertainment business, especially when you live in the entertainment capital of the world. There's never a boring day here.
Okay. Yeah. Now you were, like I said before, you were inducted into the Las Vegas Entertainment Hall of Fame. Yeah, in 2010 I was inducted into the Entertainers Hall of Fame with a vocal group called the Chaperones. The Chaperones, sure. The Chaperones, we reformed. They were originally from Long Island. Their hit record was Cruise to the Moon, and one of the original members, Nick Salvato, lives here in Las Vegas, so we built the group around him. We ended up making an Acapella CD, which I have right here. This is it, which you can take this home or play it in your car on the way home. This is Cruise Back to the Moon. The Chaperones sing Acapella. Okay, now if our listeners and viewers out there may want to order some of the CDs, your 45s. Sure. I mean, where can they order them on? You can go to our website, streetcornerentertainment.com. We have a product page that lists all the releases that we have out, and records, CDs, and there's also an artist page. You can look at the artists, listen to sound bites of the samples of the material that we put out. So it's a pretty interactive site to go and see and check it out. It's streetcornerentertainment.com. Now, let me tell you. Let me ask a question. Sure. You have young entertainers out there that want to get into the business. A lot of groups are popping up in different parts of the world, United Kingdom and Spain. The acapella. What advice can you give these young folks that are coming into business? Well, it's a tough business. My advice is you're going to have some pitfalls in it, like anything else. Never give up, number one. Always keep plugging along in it. Pick material that is going to be attractive to the audience that you perform in front of. That's most important. So if you're going to go out and sing, I mean, you want to sing some of the standards, obviously, but you want to sing some esoteric material, too. You're trying to sell the sound of vocal group harmony. So for every song like In the Still of the Night or Earth Angel, you put in some rare song in there that maybe not got enough airplay or enough push when it first came out. It's just different enough, but the sound is still the same that you can pull it over. And I think that's really important to young kids, or write original material. Took a walk and past your house late last night. I'm not going to say because that's not my thing. My thing is fighting. Yeah, your thing is boxing, yeah. Yeah. So I think that having Steve here today is really a plus for the viewers out there, for the simple reason that Steve has so much memories and so much history behind his music. I mean, you've been doing this for so many years, and you have a bunch of artists on your labels. What artists do you have on your labels now? Well, I have Joel Katz. He's out of New Jersey. Frankie Pizarro, which you've had on your show. Yes. He lives here in Las Vegas, and Frank is an incredible singer. We've recorded a couple of sides with him already. We haven't put them out yet, but that's coming out in the future. The Chords that recorded Shaboom is on our label. There's several other groups. J.T. Morgan, who was on PBS's doo-wop show last year, he's on our label. A local artist by the name of Ramon Altamirano, a brand new artist, came fresh out of the gate. He just recorded Daddy's Home, and it's an incredibly great version of Daddy's Home. As a matter of fact, it's this record right here. Daddy's Home. Right here, this is Daddy's Home. Yeah, I remember that song. Yeah, it's the same song by Shep and the Limelights. It's a little bit different, but it's a really powerful performance. And what we do is, when we sign these artists up, we want them to bring something to the table that is unique.
We want them to bring that power and that emphasis and that sincerity and that soulfulness that you want to hear when you're watching them perform.
Right.
You want that. You definitely want that.
Now, here in Las Vegas, this is the entertainment capital of the world, and we know that there's a need for live entertainment. Now,
Yes.
the music of the golden era, there's so much baby boomers here. I mean, I've seen some shows where they sell out.
Oh, yeah.
Just like back east when you have the shows that you have Little Anthony, the Imperials, and you have the Flamingos.
Right.
And you have all the groups up in the past. They're out there. They sell out.
Yeah.
What's happening here in Vegas? Be that this entertainment capital of the world, can we do anything to try to bring that up to the level that it deserves?
Actually, yeah. There's a lot of potential in Las Vegas for this type of music. There's a couple of acts locally that still perform great music, like the Night Kings do it. There's a group on the Strip called the Bronx Wanderers.
Right.
They're incredibly great. They are performing this type of music, what we call the oldies, or oldies but goodies. They've been doing this for a long time. There's a lot of room for other acts to come out here to perform. I mean, we just saw the Duprees a couple of weeks back that played in Las Vegas to a full house.
Right.
For 3 days they were here, and they played it out to a packed house.
And they also have a group here called Human Nature.
Yeah, another group like that. They're an excellent group.
They're from Europe, and they've been here for years.
Oh, absolutely.
And they sell out almost every show.
They do. I've been and saw them several times.
Yeah, Smokey Robinson discovered them, and they kind of like, he's been on this show as a guest several times, but he's been like he spearheaded the whole group. They sing a lot of his songs.
Yes, Ooh Baby Baby, the most notable song that they had recorded, is probably the best version of that song ever. I mean, and Smokey, that's one reason why Smokey had endorsed them, is because he heard them singing that song and he was just floored by how they did the arrangement.
Right, exactly.
So he put his stamp of approval on that.
No, he did a good deal there, because these guys are young, very talented. It's 5 of them, and they really do it pretty good. I mean, 2 of them are brothers. Yeah. One smaller, one bigger.
Yeah, exactly right.
The little guy, so he's a funny character on the show.
Yeah.
But they're good. They all have great voice. I like the bass that they have in there.
Oh, the bass singer is very good too.
Yeah, the bass man there, he's unbelievable. What a great, deep background bass. And he also sings leads once in a while.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really cool to see these type of acts come out here, because we don't have enough of it. I mean, years ago we saw this more prevalently. I remember when I moved here, I would see the Flamingos, the Drifters, the Platters, Coasters, groups of that nature. But there's a lot of room for other vocal groups to come out, either from California or from the New York area, to play here.
I understand you wrote a book also. And the book that you wrote is Acapella Street Corner Vocal Groups.
That's right.
Can you tell us a little bit about that book?
Yes, that book is based on the 1960s acapella scene in New York, New Jersey, Philadelphia, and Connecticut. Based off of the record collectors market that started early on in the very early 60s. Here's the book right here.
It's a book. Wow, this is amazing. Acapella Street Corner Vocal Groups, a brief history and discography of the 1950s singing groups.
Yes.
Okay, good. I like this. This is good.
Yeah, and this has all the records from the 1960s acapella scene.
So if anybody wanted to order this book, where could they order it?
It's on eBay right now.
On eBay?
This is actually a collector's item.
So it's called Acapella Street Corner Vocal Groups.
Yes, it is. Yes, sir.
Okay. That's good. You fans out there, if you really are fans of the music, you can't pass up on this book. This book is like, this is the Bible. This is a history of acapella. Huh?
Yes. The reason why that we wrote this book was that particular pocket of rock and roll music was never talked about in any book form at all. It was briefly mentioned in certain biographies or discographies, but never a book of this nature was put together for that type of specific.
You know, I see. I think that's amazing. That's great information in there. The history of the acapella. You don't find that. I've never seen a book like this before. This is amazing. Make sure you get this book, Acapella Street Corner Vocal Groups.
Yes, definitely.
On eBay.
Yes, it's on eBay right now.
I love that. That's great. Now, you have friends here in Vegas in the entertainment field. Frank Prasad was one of them.
Yeah, Frankie's one of my best friends. I talk to Frank every day.
He's a retired fireman from New York.
Yes, he is.
He was one of he was involved with the 9/11 as one of the first responders the 9/11, and we had him on the show late last year. What a voice he has.
Oh, he's got a tremendous voice.
He sang at the Yankee Stadium at the national anthem at the World Series game.
Yes, he did. I actually, one day he was at my house, Joe, and he was singing. He did some spontaneous thing in my house, and we had some guys over and we were singing. And I looked at him and I go, Frank, I said, do you know how good you really are? And he's like, I don't want to know how good I really am. He's very humble like that. But he's a sweetheart of a guy. Both him and his wife are beautiful people, and I enjoy their company and their friendship very much. Yeah, no, but what a talent. He's a super talent.
Yeah, he's looking for... actually, he's a resident here in Vegas now. He's been here going on 2 years now.
Yes.
And he's a gentleman that I think should be one of the nightclubs.
Oh, he should be headlining here.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely. He has a voice. I've seen him all over on those shows on PBS.
Yeah.
Where he's performed, and I said, wow, you know.
Well, the funny thing about that, Joe, when he did PBS last year, he performed a song called Stardust, which is a great standard.
Right.
And the group that backed him up, we went into the studio here in Las Vegas. I had the group that backed him up record their parts in the studio in New Jersey. Yeah. They sent me out the tracks. Frankie put his lead in there. Then I mixed it, and then Frankie made a music video out of it. And that's going to also be on a future release on 45 RPM, wow. And probably on a future CD. We're just still working out certain A&R work with the song choices. But yeah, what a tremendous talent. I love his voice very much.
Yeah, he's so talented. Now, I understand that you have a friend that's moving out here that's going to be helping you out with a radio talk show, radio acapella stuff. What's going on with that?
Jackie Nunez is moving out here. Okay. Yeah, and she's currently in Queens, and she's been in radio for many, many years, been involved in production work. So this is a new adventure for her life to come to Las Vegas, the entertainment capital of the world, and I wish her all the best and much success to be here. And I think she's got the right stuff to do it. I really do. And I thank her very much so for everything, because I've known her for several years, and we did some stuff together. So this is a really good thing for her. It's a great advantage point for her to come out and do something in the entertainment business here.
Well, I think if any place you can make it, it's going to be right here in Vegas. I mean, it's the entertainment capital of the world, and having someone like yourself, a professional, you're a producer, you have your own record label. I mean, you're well connected around the world in this field. I think you guys will do very good out here.
I think so. Matter of fact, the young kid Ramon Altamirano, who's on our label, I mentored him, and I've coached him, and I've developed him over the last year. And I enjoy doing that with younger people. I like to do that with more, to expose them to music. Kind of like how you guys like to do with the young kids in boxing. Right. I like to do that with, to teach young kids.
Young talent.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, some of the movies like The Bronx Tale, my dear friend Chaz Palminteri, whose father was who coached me on the weekends when I was fighting. Chaz Palminteri, in that movie, they had a couple of acapella groups singing in there.
Yeah, a friend of mine.
And they were young groups.
A friend of mine is in one of those groups. It's called Cool Change. They are at the opening scene in the movie, and he's been in that group, I don't know, for maybe 5 or 6 years. He came in later on, but the group Cool Change has been around for a good 25 years.
Yeah. Now you see some movies and you hear some of the music in the background. They bring up somebody, even on commercials on TV, some of the groups from back in the 60s. The music is still alive today.
Absolutely. We don't like to call it keeping it alive. We like to call it keeping it prevalent, because it isn't dead. The music that we put out on our label is primarily doo-wop music. We have 2 other labels that we also put different genre music styles on. But doo-wop music in general is not dead. It's poorly advertised at best. And the groups that make this music, I mean, it's all heartfelt, very emotional, and usually it's guys from the neighborhood, as it always was. So a good example would be in the neighborhood that I lived in. I lived in a neighborhood of Italians, Jews, Puerto Rican people, and just a myriad of different ethnic backgrounds. You get together and sing. That was the common denominator to do that with. So.
I used to love doing today. Yeah, I used to love doing that myself. Not that I had a good voice, but I used to get by. We used to sing in the projects, in the hallways, on the stoop, and on the bench in the projects. He's singing there. 10, 11 o'clock at night. We'll sing. There had no gangs and no drugs. There were some gangs around. We didn't hang out with those guys.
Right.
But we used to like the singing. And of course, I was a fighter, but I had to get to bed early because I had to get up and do my road work at 5 o'clock in the morning up around the reservoir and in Central Park. So, you know, I had to go to bed a little early sometimes, but on the weekend, sometimes I would be at 10, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, midnight, still singing the acapella in the hallways.
That's the cool thing about, that's part of the neighborhood counterculture of New York City, is where young kids would sing out in the street. I mean, in a time period where the streets were predominantly a lot safer than they are today.
Absolutely.
And it kept them out of trouble. I mean, there's nothing better. I mean, you could be out stealing hubcaps. You could have 4 or 5 guys together and sing. And
we used to love to sing, and we like to play stickball. Stickball and singing.
Game.
You know, we have a friend here, John, and his wife, Maddie, in from New York. They're vacationing here in Vegas. Came out to see Stevie. We give a shout out to John and Maddie. Thank you for being part of our live audience today. But anyway, Stevie, I can't thank you enough for being with us today. I mean, there's so much more I want to talk to you about. So let's just go a little bit more about how did you get started. We talked about that at the beginning of the show, but you guys, who was your favorite singers around you when you were performing?
Well, I liked my favorites, which this is funny and this is a true story, the Jive Five.
Jive Five.
And the lead singer of that group, Eugene Pitts, was my mentor. And it was great because I'm able to teach somebody else the same type of techniques he taught me. The Channels, the Cadillacs, the Solitaires, the Flamingos, the Spaniels, the Orioles, the Mellow Moods. I mean, these are all prevalent groups from the 1950s.
The Marcells.
Marcells from the 60s, Then, you know, then you have other groups like Dion and the Belmonts, the Earls.
Jay Black and the Americans.
Yeah, exactly right. And I just absorbed all of this music. What attracted me the most to this music was the romanticism behind it. Even, and also the gimmicky bass intros of songs like Blue Moon or Ramalama.
Well, I used to like the songs like, you know, Little Anthony, the Imperial.
Oh, absolutely.
Frankie Lyman and the Teenagers. You know, groups like that, those are the groups from the past. My friend John, you know what I'm talking about. And it's a great group. I mean, that's what kept us alive, kept us going. And so today, here you are.
And you can relate to them because they were contemporaries growing up in the 1950s.
Yeah, they were this DJ Jocko. He just hey, I'm back on the scene with the record machine, saying "Ooh, Papa do" and "How do you do?" So that's what we can do here. My man here, Stevie. I'll tell you, we're having some fun today with some of this music history.
Now, my friend,
he's an historian when it comes to.
I know a lot about
acapella.
this stuff. Now, I'll tell you a story about Jocko. Now, Jocko, when I sang in the Chaperones, Nick Silvato told me that the record broke in Philly, and it was and also Jocko was playing on his station. Became #1 in Philadelphia for like 4 weeks, and the group was a white Italian-American group from Long Island, and they ended up doing a gig in Philadelphia at a roller rink at a venue that was an all R&B venue, so they were all black Americans. And everybody thought the Chaperones was a black vocal group until they walked out, and they like, wait a minute, you guys sing this record? And they sang the song, and they were just met with a strong adulation and an ovation. It was a beautiful thing.
Well, I tell you, it's just like human nature out here in Vegas. A group, they come out here to perform, and you say, what? These guys are from what, New Zealand? They're from?
Yeah, somewhere around there. Australia.
Australia, yeah, Australia. And I mean, they're unbelievable. I said to myself, where did they get these guys? How did they pick up? They've been together for over 20 years.
Oh yeah, absolutely. They had several hit records in Australia.
They came out of high school, and they was performing back then. And here they are today, big shows here on the Strip.
The first time I went and saw them, I didn't know what to expect. I heard a lot of good things about them, and then. When you see a vocal group like that, it's great to hear them on record, but to see them live, I mean, that is just the most incredible thing with any vocal group. But that was really special to me because it's right here in my backyard.
Right. You know? Well, you know, we had Terry Johnson on the show 2 weeks ago from the Flamingos. He lives about 65, 70 miles. He lives in Pahrump.
Yes.
It was just a nice ride from Pahrump here to Las Vegas. And I tell you, it was an honor being with her. I mean, you know,
Terry's great.
The guy looks great. I mean, for his age, he looks really good. And
he does.
And he can still perform, you know.
Great guitar player.
He plays the guitar. Yeah, we're going to have one on the show. But we would have got carried away singing all day. So we'd rather not bring the guitar.
Now, the day that he was on your show and we were talking with them, now, Terry and I have a lot of mutual friends together. And I'm talking to him for like 15 minutes, and he's like, I know you. I'm like, yeah. I says, yeah, we know each other.
Yeah.
It was funny, and it was really enlightening. So, yeah, Terry's he's a great guy. He's a good egg.
Yeah, no, he's been around for a while, and still
since the 50s.
And they still do some traveling around the states here, different parts of the country. I mean, a lot of folks out there. I remember we had Alan Freed, the Alan Freed show in New York.
Yeah.
Remember Alan Freed? And he was.
Well, I was too young for that. Actually, I wasn't born yet, but I know who Alan Freed is.
Yeah, he goes way back with all the back at the Brooklyn Paramount.
Yeah, exactly right.
They used to have the old shows, and it was really an honor watching those shows when I was a young teenager coming up, and I would go watch the Alan Freed show at the Paramount. You see all these great singers, and we thought we could one day want to make it in the business, but my brother Mike and I, we gravitated towards boxing.
Yeah.
Instead, with that, we'd let our fists do the singing for us because we couldn't sing at all.
Well, isn't it true though? I mean, growing up in the inner city like that, you either go into sports, you go into music, or if you didn't have any, if you had limitations of what you were to do for your future, I mean, you chose these two outlets to pursue, and and either one of them is great.
Exactly. Yeah, my brother Mike and I went to boxing. My brother Richie started performing, playing with Joe Bataan.
Oh, great!
Yeah,
I love Joe Bataan.
And their first album was called The Riot. It's called Riot.
That's the best album too.
But it was a great song, a great album that they recorded. That's my brother Richie Cortez. Some of you fans out there always say, "Who's your brother? What did they do?" Well, Rafi was an actor, became a bus driver. Richie became a singer, instrument player with Joe Bataan, and Mike and I became fighters.
That's awesome. That is just awesome.
So we all stayed busy, kept ourselves out of trouble, and here I am today, 75 years later.
God bless you.
I'm still going, man. I still got a little spark in the old flash.
Oh, yeah, you should do. Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah, don't lose that either.
Yeah.
Don't lose that at all, man, because that's the greatest thing.
What keeps us alive, and doing this show here with you, Steve, is an honor. Having Steve Dunham on the show today. You fans out there, you gotta watch it. Listen, go on YouTube and put on the Acapella and watch these groups from around the world, from United Kingdom, from Spain. Jackie Nunez has some friends in Spain.
Oh yeah, she does.
That she went to visit last year, and she said, and I watch these guys on YouTube. They're amazing.
Oh, there's some great groups all over the place. And they all have, especially the doo-wop groups in Europe. They've modeled themselves after American vocal groups. One group in particular from Sicily, Freddie Bellis and the Silvertones, they are an epitome of a group harmony because they write their own material. They're heavily influenced by our American culture in music, and they have blended swing and doo-wop genres together. And they're a self-contained band, which is a rare thing for a vocal group. Usually, vocal groups have 4 or 5 singers, and then they have a band that will back them up or accompany them. But these guys are self-contained. They play and sing fabulous, and they have stuff all over YouTube. I had the pleasure last year of chaperoning them to the Viva Las Vegas show, and they did a concert over there at the Orleans, and they packed the house. They blew the house down. I mean, these guys were just that great. And it's a shame that they're just all the way over there. They don't have the opportunities as we have here in this country to come here and work regularly. Yeah. But they do work in Europe quite a bit.
I've always been thinking about, I'm very creative. I like to always come up with something crazy, but I was thinking about doing the acapella with a little rap in it. How does that sound?
Oh, that sounds pretty interesting. I don't know if that's been done, but there's always something to consider. To blend two street musical styles together like that, because they're both cut from the same cloth.
Yeah, exactly. But then you get the younger generation to kind of cross over and kind of say, hey, we kind of like this acapella stuff.
Yeah,
and do a little rap to it. I think it'd be something new.
I think that's a good idea. I really do.
Maybe something for you to think about with some of your artists.
Yeah.
Not me. I don't want to sing it, but I'll give you the idea.
Well, I'll take that into consideration.
I know how to sing Far, Far Away where nobody can hear me.
Yeah, your studio is your shower, right?
My shower has a great echo, man. I sing it in the morning. I said, wow, man, what a voice. And then, I say, I wake up to reality. I can't sing.
I took my wife. Well, we actually ended up there. We went to this place. It was a karaoke bar, and I'm not really into doing that, but I'll do it once in a while. I just do it. I like to do it for fun. And she can't sing at all. God bless her. I love her to death, but she can't sing. She can't hit a note.
But give me one of your notes real quick. We got. Give me
blow a note.
Go ahead. Something with your high tone voice.
Woo!
Keep on a little bit more. Come on. I want to hear it. I love it.
Oh, yeah.
Go ahead. Okay, fans, you heard it there from Stevie Dunham here in Las Vegas, the entertainment capital of the world. And what an honor. This is what you call a knockout. This guy is my champ, undisputed champ, Steve Dunham from Las Vegas, Nevada, the entertainment capital of the world. If you want to check him out, go on the website.
It's streetcornerentertainment.com, folks.
All right, you got it there from Steve Dunham. Joe Cortez here from Las Vegas, the entertainment capital of the world. And like I tell all my fans out there, you guys know me, I'm from a boxing referee, but I can tell you one thing, keep your guards up at all times, protect yourself at all times, and remember, I'm fair, but I'm firm. Touch them up, my champ right here.